John chapter 9. Now we're going to learn here about spiritual blindness, and the chapter starts with Jesus performing a miracle that sort of sets up the teaching. Okay, so Jesus was walking along. He saw a man who had been blind from birth, and you can read about that. They talk a little bit about it. And he says in verse 5, he kind of gives a little bit of a hint about what he's about to do. While I'm here in the world, I am the light of the world. And so he's kind of using this idea of light, like the ability to see, right? So that's been a common theme throughout the book of John that we've seen so far. But you can read this for yourself. He heals this guy. He miraculously heals the man born blind. And then sort of a comical interaction between the blind man, who's just a beggar, the blind man and the spiritual leaders, the Jewish leaders. You can read about this, and they're saying, "Wait, did you really were you really blind? And did Jesus really heal you?" Because the issue is, who is this Jesus guy? Does he really have authority? And the Pharisees are a little bit offended by this. And in verse 25, the blind guy, formerly blind guy, says, "I don't know whether he's a sinner," the man replied, "but I know this, I was blind and now I can see." And so he sort of ticks off the Pharisees, and they kick him out of the synagogue. And then Jesus hears about it in verse 35, and he finds the man, and so he runs into the man a second time after he's already healed him. And he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And he answers, "Well, who is he? I want to believe in him." See, previously the guy only got healed, but he hadn't really heard any teachings yet. So he is healed of his physical blindness, but he's still spiritually blind because he doesn't know who Jesus is. He's had this great encounter with Jesus, but he hasn't responded to him. So Jesus responds to him, "You have seen him." Again, look again at this play on words. He's talking about this miracle, and he says, "You've seen him. He is the one speaking to you." And so then the formerly blind man says, "Yes, Lord, I believe," and he worshiped Jesus. And so now Jesus can finish the moral of the story. The lesson here is, I have entered the world to render judgment, to give sight to the blind, and to show those who think that they see that they are blind. And so once again, Jesus is really teaching about spiritual blindness in John chapter 9. He's not just talking about physical blindness. The Pharisees, the teachers of the law, for all that they thought they understood about the Bible, the Old Testament, about God, it turns out they didn't understand anything, and they were blind, and they were sinners in need of a Savior and a Messiah. And that's who this guy was standing in front of them. So read John chapter 9.